So I have had BaseBlocks products since 2020. It is now, as of the time of recording, June 2023. So I've had them and used them for quite a while. Today I'm going to be talking about the BaseBench Pro, which is probably, as of right now, my favorite BaseBlocks piece of equipment, probably because I don't have anything like it really, and it allows me to do new exercises that I can't do with my current equipment. So I definitely use it at least once a week, and I have been using it at least once a week for quite a while. So I did have the original BaseBench, and then I forget how long it lasted, but I definitely did break it. I didn't realize that you weren't supposed to jump on it, and I was jumping on it, and it did not break while I was jumping though. It just, I think I was just doing like a side step kind of on it, and it did end up breaking with that. But overall, great piece of equipment, and it allowed you to do things that you couldn't necessarily do while being pretty compact. So similar to this one, just has it has more of a shelf here, and I'll show a picture of it, versus these two circular things. Full disclaimer, I do work with BaseBlocks, so I am one of their trainers for their digital platform. So if you do want to do some programs with any of their equipment, you can do one of my programs if you wanted to. But I don't use them more than I would if I did or didn't promote them, I guess, or have a link with them. I will put my 10% off link below if you are interested in purchasing, but no pressure at all. This is just kind of the rundown of what it is and what I like and dislike about it. So it basically is a bench with, I don't even know what to call these things, but little circular pads. It does have a pad that I'm sitting on right now, and it goes only to about right here. That is something that I wish it did go out farther, because sometimes I sit on it and it's right on the little crease, or if I'm doing kneeling lean backs on it, your knees and your feet can't go on the pad at the same time, so I would ideally like that to be a little bit longer. It does have pegs on the side for you that just screw in, so it's really easy to put together. Once you know what you're doing, it is a little bit confusing, but these just screw right in, and they stay there pretty well. You can wrap bands around them to then use them for things like hip thrusts, squats, lunges, really anything that you can think of. I've even done Pallof presses with it and things. They do have little screws. I don't know what to call them. It is not a technical term, but make sure you put these on the top side and not the bottom side. I definitely was lazy and messed up when I first put it together, and these were on the bottom so it wouldn't lay flat. Just flip it. Make sure these are pretty tight, that way it doesn't sway from side to side. I originally didn't put them tight enough, and it was moving and was kind of annoying there. But once you finally figured that out, it is fine. Because with the base bench, the actual bench part moves up and down. With this one, it's just this part moves up and down, and it took me forever to realize that. So all you do, you can just unscrew this. I think I tightened it earlier today, yeah. So you just unscrew, pull out, and then it'll slide up and down. And so depending on your foot size, you can adjust that accordingly, and it just locks into place, you screw it back. I like to be at that bottom one, you hear it click into place. So it does move up and down for you, depending on what you want. But yeah, I use it for Nordics, for anchoring my feet. This is really something that's good, because I don't have anything that's gonna hook my feet. So really anything here or the Nordics. And honestly, Nordics are really an underrated exercise for your hamstrings. They are so challenging, and I've been working on them for years, and still use my hands and things like that, but they're such a good exercise. One thing I wish that it did have, so essentially the pad does not go all the way across the top, it's two sides. I think you can even take this off, yeah. So essentially it has a circular pad on this thing, and it just stays right there. But notice how this part goes, your back and your spine can kind of, if you're hitting it just right, it isn't the most comfortable, so you can always throw a yoga mat or something like that over top of it if you do have that issue. So I wish this one just went all the way across the top, and that would solve that issue. I'm trying to think about what else. Oh, yes. They're coming out with a new version of the BaseBench that I will be getting in a couple months or so-ish. I'm very excited. I will show a picture. I saw an ad for it on Instagram, and it's basically this part goes up. So the Nordics, you don't have to do a push-up assist to come up. You can elevate the bench actually, and you can just go down and up. So you can work and then you can slowly lower it down, and that way you can kind of progress it. Another thing that you can do with that you can't do with this, I'm hoping to be able to do hypers and reverse hypers to work the low back and the glutes a little bit more. And I'm excited to kind of come up with some different exercises for that piece. So I'm very excited about that, but it's just another variation where you can do all the same things on this, but you get the flexibility and the variability of the newer stuff. So I'll update you guys if you want, just let me know below on that piece of equipment specifically. Kind of going along with the comparison thing, the BaseBench, like the original one with the step, you can do step ups and things like that on it where you can't do that with this. And it is more comfortable on the back because it is fully padded across the whole thing. So if you are looking for that, that is a great option. The actual whole thing does go up and down versus, because you don't have two things, it's just the one. So there's that. Yeah, really the main cons, this thing isn't padded all the way across and this thing doesn't go all the way across. Be careful when you are moving it around too. The pegs cannot be comfortable when you step on them or dig them into your thigh. From personal experience, there's that. Be careful as well when you are putting weights and metal things on it because it will scratch the paint. It's not gonna damage it or anything like that, but it's more cosmetic. From a moving things around standpoint, I literally keep this in my hall up against the wall. And you can slide it underneath your bed. This might be an issue though with the BaseBench Pro. With the BaseBench, it goes down pretty low, so you could probably slide that underneath a standard bed. I don't have a bed frame, so I can't test this out. My bed is on top of dressers and two desks and a dresser. So I can't test that out for you guys, but really just throw it up against a wall and it can be pretty compact. So I just have it, like this up against the wall. I typically like to carry it here, and then you can put it wherever you need. But it can be a little bit awkward just with the size, and maybe it's just because of me, but it is fairly light. Like it's not as heavy as you would think. It does have a little bit of like weight to it, but not enough to make it super hard to move around. But yeah, that is that. Just be careful with these little guys, the pegs, as you are moving it around, because it can also, I think I've dented my platform a little bit with it because one of those dug in. So, but if you're on carpet, I wouldn't necessarily worry about that as much. But yeah, I think that is it for just general pros and cons of the BaseBench Pro, the BaseBench, and the new one. I'm not quite sure of its name as of right now. I would have to look that up. But if you do have any questions or anything like that, drop them below. I will give my honest answer. If you are interested in purchasing it, I will put my 10% off link below. That does support me, so I truly appreciate it, but it's really just, if you want a discount, go for it. If you don't want to buy it, there are definitely other things that you can use in place of this, but it's sometimes nice just to have something compact and like a multi-tool, and this is that if you are interested in that. But I'm going to create a playlist of all my BaseBlocks reviews, so I will link that here once it is up. I think this is going to be my first one, so if it's not there, remind me, and yeah, I will see you in the next one.